Hi everyone, today's video is going to be about prompting in Midjourney version 6. So I create all the prompts by myself. I find prompting really easy. I do not overthink it. Hopefully after this video you will also find it easy. This is more like a video for beginners. I will move from a more general prompt to a more specific, and you will see how changing the prompt will change the final result. And in the end of the video, I'm going to answer some of your questions. So let me start now. So we are talking about Midjourney, and in order to create your AI images in there, you have to pay for it. And here you can see a summary of the plans that they have. So each plan gives you a general commercial license. That means that you can actually sell your images, for example, on Adobe Stock. So all of the plans allow you to do this. The difference in the plans is basically how many Midjourney hours it gives you for generating, and then in the Pro and Mega plan they have an option of stealth generation. That means that the images that you generate are not visible in the Midjourney gallery and not searchable in the Midjourney gallery. So if this is important to you, you would have to pay up. In general, I would say if you are a newbie, then do not go with a more expensive plan until you are able to pay for it with your Adobe earnings. I would start with a $10 plan, and you will see, you will go from there. So this is the plan. So once you purchase the plan, we can start generating. I'm kind of going to utilize the idea from the copy versus inspired video, and I'm going to move from a more general one to a more specific one. So now we are going to generate an animal on a throne. This is very like a general idea that you might have. And then so this is like a core of our prompt, and then we have to put in some settings. Basically the only setting you will need, more or less, is this AR and then the numbers. So AR stands for aspect ratio. So that tells us if we are going to have like a horizontal image, a vertical image. If you don't enter this command, it will create a square by default. And on Adobe Stock, I wouldn't really concentrate much on square images. I think the most used one is this one, so --AR space 3 to 2. You can also use 16 to 2. Then of course if you reverse the numbers, you will get the vertical versions of the image, and then you can use 3 to 1 for a banner. And --V stands for Midjourney version. So this is version 6, and this one you don't have to enter. Actually, it goes in there automatically right now. But if you want it for any reason to generate like in an older version, then you can do it, and you will go like --V, and let's say 5.2 will give you the previous version of Midjourney. I almost never use any other settings for my prompts. The only one that I do use is dash style, which will give you a seamless pattern. I can create a separate video on that, but if I were you, I wouldn't use anything else. So there are other commands that do different things in Midjourney. Personally, I don't really think you need anything else. So okay, so let's go with this prompt. So an animal on a throne, right? So this is what it generated, and we can see that it's like kind of a little bit all over the place. So the top two images look more like illustrations. The bottom two look more like photos, like the background is kind of like all over the place. So now you can see that, okay, I've given it like a prompt that is too general, and now we want to specify. So clearly it's good idea to specify if you want a photo or an illustration, and that's basically what I do. So you would go, you would go with a photo in your prompt, as I did here. So now we want a photo of an animal on a throne. If you wanted an illustration, you can of course say that you want an illustration. So this is what it gives us. So now you can see that all of the images are photorealistic, which is what we wanted, but still it's kind of like a mishmash, and it can actually inspire you to have like more ideas when you prompt when you give a general prompt like that. But let's specify it further. So let's specify that we want a dog on a throne. So now it gives us dogs. Now it's like more consistent. But still, as I said, like the backgrounds are different. It's not really like reading what kind of throne we want, because we didn't really tell it what we actually want. So now I'm gonna show like how I would do it normally. So I will specify a breed of a dog. So I'm going to choose a Chihuahua. And I like really in most of my pictures to specify a color scheme. So we want a green throne and a green background, and this is what it gives us. So you can see that the result is pretty consistent, and it's basically a usable image that we can upload on Adobe. But there are of course more things that we can do with the prompts. So the one that I don't have as a demonstration, but if you want like a close-up image, so if you want your object closer, so this ones are pretty close, so I wouldn't specify that. But in case you want your like the subject of your image closer, so you would do like a close-up photo of a Chihuahua. And if you want really a detail, then you can go like a macro detail photo of a Chihuahua, right? And now we are going to play with it a little bit. So another thing that I like doing, so to give like a more dramatic, interesting image, you can add sun and shadows. You can do it for the photos of people, for your still lifes, for food photography, and it gives kind of a more moody dramatic result. You can also like prompt moody or dramatic, but I find like the sun and shadows that it gives you like a specific effect that you can see here. Then we can of course play with the mood of the dog, right? So we can have a happy Chihuahua. So we can see that the top two images are quite happy, the bottom two are not that much. So if we want like a more expression, that is also for your photos of people. If you go with excited, it will give you a more expressive portrait. And of course we can make it a sad Chihuahua. So I prompted a depressed Chihuahua with a dark cloud over its head and the rest. So now you can see like it didn't give it the cloud in each photo, but I think that this is a pretty sad Chihuahua. I really like this one. So you can play with the moods of your subjects if they are like live subjects. And then we can also play with the styles. So we can make it a trendier image, and we can create an anthropomorphic Chihuahua in a pink suit. So anthropomorphic animals are quite trendy right now, so we can do something like that. So in all of these previous images, I didn't play with the background much. I just specified the color of it, but we can give it a background. So I'm going to give it a dreamy, futuristic, magical castle. And if you want a more like futuristic, weird image, you can prompt surreal, futuristic, magical, like psychedelic, this kind of stuff, you know. And this is what it's giving us. So this is basically how I prompt. So I don't go into like too much detail. I will not tell Midjourney what the dog is thinking about and like camera angles. If you are really like not aiming for a very specific looking image, then like don't go into really too much detail. I think it gives pretty good results without you going crazy with, you know, how detailed your prompt is. And now also I want to mention the things that you are not supposed to do in Midjourney. So you are not supposed to reference any artists in your prompt. So we cannot do Wes Anderson's colors, right? So you might like it. You may try to, for example, ask ChatGPT to kind of describe his style without like mentioning his name, and then use it in the prompt. But you cannot use his name in the prompt. The same, you cannot like do like any Leibovitz kind of portrait, right? It's not allowed to use other creators names in your prompt, and as you can see, actually it didn't give any like especially different result here, so you don't really need to copy other creators styles. What is another thing that is not allowed, and it's kind of more of new rules for Adobe, so you cannot like specify or show a specific event. So there were a lot of people who were uploading like war imagery, and they would do like a bombarded building and they will say that it's in Ukraine or in Gaza. So now you cannot do it. Adobe does not allow you. Same for Like now there will be Olympic Games, so you cannot create like a stadium with people and say that it's from the Olympics, from the 2024 Olympics. You cannot use real events in your prompts, because of course the AI images are AI and are not real, so we cannot really show real events with AI imagery. So this kind of image is also a no-no. And then another thing that you cannot use, you cannot actually put famous people in your images. So you cannot give your chihuahua to Paris Hilton. It basically did a very bad job of Paris Hilton, but anyway, you can like give it to a beautiful blonde woman. Yes, that you can do, but you cannot actually use any celebrities or any known live people in your prompts. Otherwise, you will need a model release, and you are not getting a model release from Paris to sell on Adobe Stock, so this is also not allowed. Yes, and so once you've generated your image, the Midjourney gives you some options. So the images go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you have an option either to upscale or to verify. So this initial upscale, I call it like you just pick the image you like. We will not call it a real upscale, because the final resolution that it gives us is not enough for Adobe. So with the U command, you just pick which of the ones you want to use. You can use all 4, of course. And with the V command, for example, you want this image, but you want like a little bit more variations of it, so you will click on V4. So now we've picked this one, and again we have some options here. So we can either upscale, subtle, or creative, or we can vary the image, subtle or strong. So if you don't want to, you don't have to upscale with Midjourney. So you can download this image and then do a 4-time upscale in your upscaler that you're using. I will have a separate video on quality and upscaling. But what I actually found is that it really gives me the best results if I upscale subtle in Midjourney and then upscale 2 times or 200% in my upscaler that I'm using. And I find this gives me like the best quality, and it lowered the rejection rate from Adobe for me. So upscale subtle will basically just enlarge the image with very, very minor difference from the original. The creative upscale will also enlarge this image, but will make minor changes. I usually don't use this option, but sometimes if it is a photo of a person and it's holding something, and in the image like the fingers are the correct number and everything, but for example the nails are not very like well done in the image. When you do upscale creative, sometimes it will improve the hand to the point that you can use it. So sometimes I use the upscale creative. And then you have the very subtle and strong. So very subtle will give you very, very, very similar images. So if you just see some minor small mistakes, you can try very subtle, and maybe if you are lucky it will get rid of the mistake there. And very strong is basically the same as this kind of V, so it will give you a little bit more variation, but it will be a variation of this image. So this is it, and this is what I wanted to show you. Hopefully this was helpful, and now I'm going to answer some of your questions. So the first question was how do you find out other people's prompts? So you do not. Alright, so we've talked about it in previous videos. Copying other people's prompts is not allowed. If you do it, you can get banned because the photo that you will get will be really similar to the original, and it is easier to discover, and you can get banned for this practice. Also, I don't really believe it will help you in any way. Like, to create a very close copy is not going to bring you the results that you are expecting. So if you want to kind of use other people's ideas, but in a more, let's say, acceptable way, you should watch my video on copied versus inspired, where I talk about it in more detail, and I'm also showing the examples. So what is the original image and where are we going with it, and what is a usable copy. Quality issues. So I had some specific questions on quality. Basically, if there are any prompts that you can use to improve the quality. I don't believe so, that you can prompt Midjourney to for a better quality. So as I've mentioned already, you can try to vary the image a little bit, depends on what the quality issue is. But if you see that after you use your upscaler and the image is still not sharp or is grainy, as I said, I would try the option to upscale subtle and then use your upscaler, and really it gave me good results. I'm very happy with it. It does take a lot of your Midjourney time, unfortunately, but it really is giving me the best results. And if still you don't like it, I would just move on and try to regenerate it, or just move on with another idea. Because I don't believe you can prompt it to make a better version of the picture. Sometimes I use things like that it's an ad, but like a commercial photo, right? But I don't promise that it gives any real improvements. And the last question is about my thumbnails. How do I put my face into the Midjourney images? So for that, I will link you a video that is like a tutorial on how to do it. It's not very hard. So I will link it in this video's description. Yes, so this is it from me today. I hope you liked the video and that it was useful. The video on upscaling is coming soon. So, great sales to you, and I will see you very soon.